Welcome back to Your Florida Electrician. You may remember this view from when we first wired these outlets in this room. We did one video how to wire or pre-wire receptacles. Drywall has been done. Speakers are in. We're going to go around and start wiring some of these, trimming in some of these receptacles. I'm going to show you how the commercial guys like to do it. They like to have the wires coming out, and then they connect the pigtail to it onto the receptacle, and I'll explain why. Okay, I got my little cart with my tools on there. Alrighty, I'll go around the room. Start wiring these up for you. Okay, guys, some of the tools you might need, as always, are dikes, otherwise known diagonal, needle nose, strippers, screw gun if you want. Just make sure you set the torque really low. That's not one with a torque, but some wire nuts. And if you have some lying around, to do it this way, the commercial guys like it, you're going to need some of this wire. If it's 14 wire, you'll need 14. If it's 12 wire, you need 12. And of course, you're going to need your outlet. This is tamper resistant. This is the code for the day. This is a 15 amp circuit. Using a 15 or a 20 can be fused on a 15 amp circuit. A 20 amp outlet will have a little little line here. That can be also in here. And this one can also be on a 20 amp circuit, says the code, even though it's rated for 15 amp. Okay, so down the bottom here, of course, we have your ground. Left side, the bigger opening here. That's your neutral. Smaller side is your black. Copper screws versus silver screws. Okay. I hate using the stab ends. These are stab ends. I hate them. It's a very bad connection. We're going to do it differently. And I want to do today the way the commercial guys do it. There's good reasons to do it that way. There's pros and cons of everything. All right, so this was the home run for this room. Meaning one of these sets of wires is coming directly from the panel, the electrical panel. It's my home run. So I'm going to start here. Okay, everything got kind of textured, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. Okay, hopefully I can keep an eye on what's going on. So I always curl the wires before I put them on. I take my needle nose here. Hopefully this is focusing okay. I'll put a little curl on it. Okay. I think I can probably cut some of these off. I get more than I need here. You only need about 6 inches hanging off the box, hanging out of the box. Go ahead and strip these like you normally would. Hopefully it's focusing okay. I think it's having a hard time focusing. Strip them back at like 3/4 of an inch. Okay, you see all the wires are all stripped back. And I want to do something the commercial guys like to do. They like to take a piece of wire, and I'm going to explain why they like to do it. Cut it about, I don't know, 5 inches maybe. Okay, so you have your 5-inch long piece of 14-2. Pull out of it with your needle nose. Pull out of the sheath the black. Okay, pull it out. And pull out the white. You don't need the ground. Okay. So now you have your little, what we call pigtails. Also strip one end of this one. Sorry, this is tough to do with the camera right in front of me. Trying to make a good video for you guys. Okay, so we have a total of 3 of each color stripped, okay? Take a yellow wire nut for 14 wire. Take all your whites. Put them together. You don't have to twist them. Just make sure the ends are even, okay? Slide the wire nut on, hold the wires firmly, start twisting. Okay, once it feels like it's twisting pretty good, pinch them from the other direction, and really give them a good twist. Okay. You're going to know it's twisted pretty good because over here it's going to start twisting. And do the same for the black. Grab another yellow wire nut. Again, making sure that they're even at the end. It's more important than being twisted. Even, okay. Put them inside the wire nut. Start the wire nut twisting. Re-grab here and really put it on there well. Okay, you know it's going to be on there good because the wires themselves are going to start twisting. See? You can put all of this back in the box except for those pigtails. Push all this in the box. You're going to need room for your outlet. Now it's hooking on everything because I bent it. Anyway. Should have waited till after to bend that one. Okay, so now all you have hanging out is one of each one. One ground, one neutral, one hot. Take about, I don't know, nearly an inch, maybe an inch. Insulation off, your strippers. Take your needle nose. Put a little half circle on there like that. Okay, can you see that? All right, the reason the commercial guys like this is, let me show you something. So all these outlets are being run in parallel, okay? Power's coming in from the panel on one of these sets of wires, and then going back, going to the next outlet on the other wall. Okay, and so on and so on and so on and so on. Okay, if we don't do pigtails like this, and we only connect one set of wires here on the top, and the other set of wires here on the bottom, everything has to run through this outlet downstream. So if you have a hair dryer plugged in on the 10th outlet of this circuit, and you wire it this way, one set there and one set here, what it does is through every outlet, it has to come in, go through this little piece right here, and then go back out to the next outlet. Okay? I believe the commercial guys like it because, you know what, it's going to bypass this outlet altogether when you do it like this. Power for the outlet downstream is going to come right up to here, and then it's not needed to go through here. It's just connected to the next circuit and goes down to where it's needed. Okay, so to me that makes sense, and I'm going to do that here. I'll push these back in. Make sure before you install any outlets, always check this. I've gotten them before where they're broken off. It's hard to see. All right, you see that little tab right there? There's a little tab there. That will screw you up later if that's missing. You see it better here. You see it? Make sure all your outlets have that. They're not broken off. I've had some that were in the box that somebody returned. Probably couldn't get it to work correctly or didn't know how to fix it because that tab was broken off. Okay, make sure that tab is there. The only reason why you'd want to take that out is if you have a separate, two separate circuits or a half-hot outlet. That's on another video. Put the ground around. I use my needle nose. Pinch it closed. Grab your screwdriver. You could use a screw gun, but it's better using a screwdriver. I do have a torque screwdriver. I think I'll go get it. Okay, I've gotten yelled at by a lot of people for not using a torque screwdriver. Well, here it is. Okay, the recommended UL 498, I believe, for duplex receptacles is about 12 to 14 pounds. So let's put 14 pounds on here. as this red goes up. Okay, when that red line reaches 13, okay, 12, that's almost 12, there's 12, it's above 12, yeah, right around 14, so that's good. You see that? The red line's at 14. Okay. Then we can torque these terminations properly. Basically, you just put it in there like a regular screwdriver, push very hard, and that one's slipping, so this little fitting is not the right size. All right, I changed this to a flat. Put that in there, and you want to turn it. Wow, 14 is pretty high. There it goes, it just popped. See, it slips. When it's torqued correctly, it kind of slips. So let's get our one neutral. Neutral is always on the same side as the ground. Okay, put it around termination. Now I want to get that little piece we folded over tight. See that? How tight that is? You can't even see the end of it anymore. All right, let's screw this in. Wish the camera would figure out what to focus on. Okay, hold on to the outlet real good. And it twists, you hear that? It just kind of breaks and then doesn't turn. You can tighten these in too. I mean, not torqued in, but tighten them in. The reason why is when you push the outlet back into the box, you don't want the ground wire to touch anything. You don't want to touch the hot, you don't want to touch the neutral. Arc fault breakers will trip if the neutral's touching the ground. That's a whole bunch of reasons. Okay, now the black one, it doesn't have to match. Top one doesn't have to go with the top one. The bottom doesn't have to go with the bottom. It doesn't matter. As long as it has power. Okay, same thing with this one. Boom. Can you see that? See how tight that is around there? That's a really good connection. Okay, torque screwdriver. Tighten it down. And tighten it till the screwdriver pops. It feels like it's slipping, but that's how you do it. That's torque, 14 pounds. As per UL listing, you want to make sure that your outlet, you are not on the insulation. That is very darn close, but it's not on the insulation. This one is more obvious. You see that? This one is just about on the insulation, but it's very, very close. It's not. Okay, now we're good. Both sides have been put in, screws. Put all the wiring back in the box. Pay particular attention to this ground wire. This one's going to cause you the grief. Put that way in the back as far as you can. Don't just shove it all in there and expect the outlet to push it in. You want to get that ground out of the way. It's going to cause you trouble if you don't. Screw gun with a very low torque setting. I got it on like 5. Get all the wires back in there. Yep, you too. The core is particularly tough because you got to get it in there flat. It's going to be obvious if you don't get it in there right. It's going to show up when they put the plate on. It's not level. Not straight. This is easier with new construction. Sometimes older houses, the drywall's missing, all kinds of things can go wrong. All right, looks good. I don't see any wires coming out the front. Now you want to see this to be flush if possible. If one side's sticking up, you can kind of push it. persuade it a little bit. Okay, there's a little imperfection here. It's okay. So it looks pretty good, I think. Once we get the screws in, it'll look pretty good. I have my wiggy screwdriver. You see these? It turns. It's good for putting these screws in. Sorry, I keep bumping the camera. It's very, very close to where I'm working. All right, so how this wiggy works. Back the camera off a little bit. How this thing works. A bit of pressure. And you don't really turn the screwdriver or your hand as much. You just always up and down with the screws, okay? Turn that so it focuses better. It looks more professional than having every single screw in the house on the electrical facing every which way. Look. Okay. You see that side is out a little bit. Not too bad, really. If you plug something in, that'll be good. It's loose now. But you can keep fudging with it if you wanted to. To me, that's acceptable. It's not perfect. You can feel a little lip on this side, nothing on that side. I could take it off and dick with it a little bit more. But the whole reason why you have tamper-resistant outlets, if you have kids and they pick up this screwdriver and they go, oh, what's this do? They try to stick it in here later after the power's turned on. It won't go in. It just simply won't go in. Doesn't matter what side they do. The only way it goes in is if they were to do both at the same time, like you're putting a plug in, and then it opens the door. Okay? So highly recommended. Spend the extra couple dollars to get the tamper resistant ones, especially if you have kids, little boys. Get the tamper resistant ones. Okay guys, we're done with the plugging for those outlets. They're all in this room. So the next thing to do is we need to use the plug checker. Okay, make sure they're done right. I'm going to do a whole video on this thing. This thing's pretty cool. But we need to check them, make sure that they're wired correctly. Let's do that. Okay, so what we want to see is we want to see 2 orange lights. Cool. It's not going to trip because it's not on GFI. We want to check the top and bottom. Okay, that's good. Next one in line. Okay, that's good. That's good. Up to the TV outlet. It's hard to hold the phone and do this. Sorry, guys. It's nice and tight. Okay, good. Good. That's what you want to see. If you go through your house, you want to buy one of these. You want to check every outlet and make sure you get these 2 orange. If you don't have the orange, a different set of lights right there. It tells you what they mean. Okay, you have an open ground or an open neutral. You need to get it fixed. Okay, so far so good. That one's good. We have another TV outlet up here. Going to be for security cameras. Okay, that's good. Well, it's like that. So far so good. Batting 1,000. Okay. All right. Another one over here. Okay. I don't push it all the way in. Doesn't give me a good result. Far so good. Yep, that one. That one. I think there's 10 outlets in this room. Last one. And look at that. They're all in there perfectly. So that's it for this one with the receptacles for wiring receptacles. We did this whole room. I'm going to go ahead and do the mastering and check those right now. I finished those. I'm going to make sure they're all correct with this plug checker guy. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was helpful.